What's going on? Today is Monday, and as you guys know, every single Monday we come at you, we spit fire, we spit the truth, and nothing but the truth. Today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Sarah. Can you introduce yourself, actually? And before we do that, I want to talk about the topic of dating as an entrepreneur, part 2, because we did one video the other week, and we had a lot of great feedback from it. So we're doing part 2 with dating, and we have a female perspective this time, because last time we had my boy Matt, the ninja. So introduce yourself quickly. What do you do? And we'll get into the podcast.
Hi, my name's Sarah. I live here in Miami, and I do digital marketing, so social media management, email marketing campaigns, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. By the way, you can put your mic a little bit closer. That's fine. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't hit yourself like a whack-a-mole. But so let me ask you this. I know that Miami has been a very interesting place for dating, and every time we do interviews, Matt, in the street, we always ask people like, dating and business, all that stuff, and every single person says the same shit about dating, especially nowadays. I mean, listen, I'm new to the dating world for the past 6-7 months, and it has been very, very interesting because I was in a very long-term relationship for many, many years, and I came out of a relationship not too long ago, and I'm looking at this dating scene. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on in the marketplace? Now, I thought it was just Miami, but it seems like it's in a lot of different places. So what has been your experience and your opinion in the dating world as an entrepreneur, as a person that's, pushing for success and you want to have your own, independence? How has it been dating in the marketplace?
I just think dating in Miami is hard as a whole. I feel like everyone here kind of is more focused on the short-term fun of things, and then also I feel like you have to have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for, self-control, because you go out here and there's a lot of people that don't live here, and especially for women, I feel like there's a lot of temptation in the side of being pulled into sections and tables and things like that, and you have to kind of decipher in your head as even if you don't have the intention of talking or flirting with another man, could it be viewed as disrespectful to your man if you have one at home? Is a guy gonna want you out in the clubs, knowing what goes on in the clubs here? And then also from the man side of thing, I feel like you have to have a lot of that as well, because there's a lot of temptation on the men's side with, girls, the way that they dress here. And there's a lot of women here just on vacation, or even women that live here that, they don't care if someone's in a relationship. They don't care if someone's married or dating or whatever. So
that's crazy.
You just have to kind of, you have to decide, I feel like, if you want to be you want to be out and partying all the time, then maybe a relationship's not the best for you here. Unless you have a partner that's partying all the time with you.
But even then, why would you want to be in a relationship to just party all the freaking time? That's kind of my mindset.
I know, that's mine too.
Like here and there to go out to have some fun with your girl or your man, it's okay. But I see a lot of people, they party on Wednesday night, Thursday night, Monday night.
7 nights a week. That's the thing about here is it doesn't matter if it's Monday or Saturday or whatever. There's something going on. There's always something going on.
So let me ask you this, and this is my, before I ask you a question, this is my perspective on the dating world in here, especially as an entrepreneur, right? So there's these two types of people out there. There's this group of people that want to have fun, that just want to fuck around, talk to 20 different people. They want no commitment, literally. They may tell the girl or tell the guy they want a commitment, but they play that game because they just don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, right? And I think it stems from a deeper issue. It has nothing to do with the fact that they don't want to be with one person. I feel their self-image is so fucked up and so beat up that they're not willing to make the commitment and the extra. Because remember, being in a relationship is 100% work. Mm-hmm. The first couple of months, everything is amazing. But at the end of the day, you have two different people from two different backgrounds with two different mindsets that come together. They may have the same values and principles, but you still have to come together and work together and say, okay, she doesn't like this. Yeah. He doesn't like that. You kind of come together and work together on that relationship. Because I know for a fact there's things that I do that will piss off a girl, and I know for a fact there's things that girls would do that the girl with would piss me off, right? But you kind of work on it. You talk about, hey, I don't like this. This is my boundary. For example, going out and partying. I would never be with a girl. This is my perspective. I would never be with a girl that even thinks about wanting to go party all the fucking time when we're in a relationship.
I agree.
No disrespect. You want to party? That's not the guy and girl I'm looking for. That's not that. I'm not looking for a wife that wants to go party. If you're still looking to go party, you're fucking still in that phase, which is the second phase. Well, we're talking about the monogamous stuff. Did you want to have? They want to fuck around, party, chill, smoke, drink. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm not looking for that. Yeah. I'm looking for the other side of someone who wants a commitment, a committed relationship, that wants to kind of be a partner and understand that there's roles that we both have to play in. I'm a man, she's a woman. There's masculine roles, there's feminine roles. And I think nowadays, we saw just a video, though, like you just showed me a video on Instagram, how a transgender man or whatever wanted to go into a female bathroom, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, listen, you're a man, you got a schlong, you got to go where?
The men's
Go to the men's bathroom. Now, I'm probably not going to post this on TikTok or Instagram because I'm going to get banned for saying that shit. YouTube is okay with this because I'm not saying anything bad. But, like, the world is a crazy fucking place now.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of successful men and entrepreneurial men don't want to, they really don't want to stay committed, in my opinion, because they're afraid of getting fucked in the ass. Because the girls nowadays, in my opinion, are looking to what? What do you think the girls are looking these days when they see a successful man? Not all, but the ones that are partying and having a good time.
Yeah, they're looking for what they can take and what they can get.
Absolutely.
So I don't disagree with that. And like I agree with you when you say like a partner that wants to like party all the time. Like it's not what I would be interested in. If I met a guy like and that's like one thing for me is like I don't really go out anymore. Like I stopped going out the last multiple months. And it's like
Save yourself the headache.
It's rare if I do, like very rare, like maybe once a month if that. But I have friends that are like, well, how are you going to meet anyone if you just sit at home all the time? But I don't want to meet a guy that's in a club.
Why would you want to meet a girl in a club?
I don't want to meet a guy at a club.
Hell fucking no. It doesn't mean the person is bad. Like, if you would have met me at 21 years old, does that mean I'm a bad person in the club? No. It's just that time in my life, I was not looking for a serious relationship at 21 years old.
The kind of person I'm looking for.
At that moment in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Because people say, everyone clubs. Yeah, everyone clubs and parties at a certain time in their life, but it doesn't mean that at that time they're ready to settle down and be serious. When they're 24, 28, 32, maybe they're ready to settle down, but they're not partying all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. Like, if you saw me in a club every fucking weekend, every fucking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm not looking to fucking find my wife there. Mm-mm. I'm looking to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And for a good time. You're looking for short-term fun.
Short-term fun. That's what I think a lot of people have the mistake. They're looking for short-term gratification.
See, but I think the problem with that is that people think that they can just have this like short-term fun mentality when it comes to relationships. And I understand men and women, their brains are wired a little bit differently. I think it's easier for men to just kind of like do the hookup thing and not care. But for women, I don't think that exists.
100%.
And women can lie and say that, it's no strings attached. They're just hooking up. Their situationship. They're friends with benefits.
Bullshit.
But they always end up
bullshit.
Hurt, and they always end up having feelings.
100%.
And I think what happens is women, and I've done this, okay, is you find a guy that you like. You didn't meet him in the greatest setting. He's not interested in anything serious. He tells you he's not interested in anything serious. And in your head, you're like,
I'll convince him.
I can change him.
Every girl wants to do that. They want to change the man.
Change his mind. And it's unfortunate because, the guy will spend all this time with you. You guys will go out on dates. You go out together, you stay the night together. You lay around and chill. Like, you're doing all these things that you would do if you were dating. But for you, you're gathering all these feelings. And for them, it's just like a pastime. You're a placeholder. And it's hard to, like, decipher, then women end up hurt and wondering why.
Because most women, in order for a woman to open her legs, she has to feel she has to feel emotionally connected first in order to open up her legs. Most of the time.
Right.
Most of the time, right? A guy gets connected when he goes through the emotion with the girl. Mm-hmm. That's usually how it happens. Like, and guys think they could be, I'm King Kong, I could just mess around with just one. But the more you have fun with that individual on a sexual level, the more you actually get hooked, not realizing that's what happens. Mm-hmm. On the woman's side, she has to first feel what? Emotionally connected to that person to kind of open up. Most of the time. I know some of you girls are crazy, like the party before that shit happens. I understand. Talk about normal, healthy fucking women, okay? But what I've realized is that as an entrepreneur, let's talk about entrepreneurship, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur. I was petrified for years to be with the wrong individual, wrong girl. Because I know what kind of person I am. I'm a very high intense individual. I'm very successful what I do in the daytime, and I'm very worried that getting the wrong girl would fuck up my entire life.
Yeah.
Because I have so many amazing things going on in my life, my businesses, my relationships, my relationship with God, like everything is going in an amazing everything. You bring in the wrong person,
yeah,
it will change. Everything will go upside down. And I've seen friends and I've seen people that have been in a relationship with someone. Everything was going amazing in business, but what happened to the relationship? It started to go downhill, and they lost everything in their business.
Yeah.
They lost everything with their relationship with their family. Everything started going into turmoil. So I was like, you know what? It's kind of very risky nowadays to be with a partner. So you got to get very good at choosing the right partner. Now, I've been ridiculed. I've been criticized for doing this one thing. You may think it's stupid. I want to hear your opinion.
Okay.
This is what I did. This is what I will recommend it to every single fucking guy. I made a list of 100 things that I'm looking for in a woman.
Okay.
And I broke it down into 7 different areas, right? Because there's 7 different areas of life. You have the physical realm, right? You have physical, you have emotional, you have mental, right? You have spiritual, you have financial, you have relational, and recreational. Those are the 7 areas of life. Anything you think of goes into one of those 7 buckets, right? So when it comes to physical stuff, right, I wanted to make sure that, okay, these are some of the physical qualities that I'm looking for. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have all 100 things out of the things that I put in those lists,
Yeah.
right? It just means that these are things that I'm looking for. So, for example, I like a girl that has what? Black, long hair. This doesn't mean that if a girl is blonde hair, I'm not going to talk to her, as an example, right? It just means that this is what I'm looking for. This is the specific image of what I like and what I'm attracted to, right? You make those things in the physical realm. Then you write down some stuff on the emotional stuff. What kind of person are you looking for on the emotional level? Are you looking for someone that has a lot of anxiety? You're looking for someone that has a lot of depression. Like, you got to know some of the things that you cannot accept. Like, I cannot be with someone that is a massively low self-image, that doesn't believe in herself. Like, I can't, because at the end of the day, like, I'm going to be carrying that person for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I want someone who has a healthy self-image. Someone has empathy. Someone has a golden heart. Someone wants to be has a giving personality. Those are some of the things that I put on my list, right? Then you have the mental stuff. Some people don't care about that. I want to be having long, intellectual conversations with someone and talk about important shit, not about fucking Netflix and bullshit. Like, I want to talk about important things. What are their values? What are their principles? What do they believe in, right? Do they believe in commitment? Like, what do they believe about marriage? Do they want to get married? Or are they like, oh, no, I never want to get married? Do they think that they have to get married after 7 years of being with someone? Or do they think that within 6, 12, 18, 24 months, they have a good understanding of who that human being is? Right? Those are some of the things that I put into the list, right? And that kept going on and on every single level, every single bucket. What do you think about that? Because a lot of people have laughed at me and said, oh, Michael, you're fucking crazy. What do you think about that?
I think that's a very good idea. I think it's very logical. I don't think that people are asking the right questions when they're dating. Not
100%.
Not even dating yet. Like, even when you're getting to know someone, I don't think we're asking the right questions. And
Do you know why?
I don't even think people know what to ask.
Not only that, they're afraid to ask the tough questions.
Yeah. And this,
They're afraid of losing that person.
right. But my thing is like, if we don't see eye to eye on these things, there's just like basic principles that we need to be on the same page about. We need to be aligned with. We have to see eye to eye on, or it's just not going to work out. It's just not someone I want to share my life with. Like, I recently went on a date with a guy. He was great. Like, looks wise, was into him. We had a lot in common. We had great conversation. I had a great time. And, a day before we were going to go on, like, we didn't even go on a second date yet. And we were just kind of like chit-chatting or whatever. I had a story posted on something, and he replied to it, and I was like, it was a story about, it was something about like God, like it was a Bible verse, something, and what he said to it, I was like, do you not believe in God? And he sent me this like long, paragraph trying to explain like how he believes God is something different than the traditional this and that, and I was like, respectfully, this isn't going to work out. Where, like, I don't want to go to dinner
100%.
tomorrow because, and he was angry and like had like, was trying to like counter it back and forth. And I was like, listen, like, I'm not telling you your beliefs are wrong, but those just aren't my
100%.
beliefs. And I don't see any point in pursuing anything further if we don't see eye to eye on that, because you're not someone I would see myself with in the future,
100%.
given those beliefs. And one of my friends was like, oh, you're being like too hard on about it. No, not at all, because you have to see eye to eye.
Values and principles are extremely important. Like, for example, in a business, when we hire people, we have certain things that we're looking for characteristic-wise on who we're going to hire.
Yeah.
Right? And if the person does not have certain qualities that we're looking for, we do not hire them. I don't give a fuck how amazing they are. Because I'll give you an example. There's a lot of companies that would hire someone all because of their production.
Yeah.
I give 2 squirts of piss on production. I don't give a shit if you could produce and create sales and create money and generate money for the company if you do not have, as an example, a thing called integrity. I don't care. I don't care about how much millions you're going to bring to the company. It means shit to me. Because I've made that mistake in the past where I hired someone all because of what? They're amazing in producing. And like we all want money at the end of the day for our business, right? Want revenue, whatever. But they don't have integrity. And what ends up happening, you cut corners, long term, it bites you in the fucking ass.
Yeah, of course.
Or there were certain people that are in my company that were doing things that were not correct. And all I did was like this. I'm like, oh, I don't know. If I don't know, it doesn't affect me, right? As long as it's not hurting the customer, like they were playing around with the system, I didn't know. Bullshit. It was a big mistake. And it cost me lots of money, millions of dollars, and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in those situations because I did not stick by my principles.
Right.
And when I made those mistakes, I'm like, you know what? Never again. If I see someone making decisions that are not full of integrity, they do not fit in our culture. And
Right.
integrity is a very, very important thing for most people that have faith in God. And that's what I say. If you don't believe in God, listen. You don't have to believe in God, but you don't have to be near me if you don't believe in God. Like we're not gonna connect. We can stay
No.
friends. We can have a conversation. I'll talk to a
Right.
freaking atheist right now. Have a great conversation. I might persuade him to think about God at the end of the day, right? And I'm going to convert him a little bit over time. But he's not going to be my best friend.
Right.
I'm still going to understand his perspective, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're going to be able to be in a relationship.
Well, and I think the same thing starts applying to like friendships. Like as I get older, there's just people that I care about them, but I have to love them from afar because I know that our friendship is not doing anything for my future. It's not bringing me any value. I feel like even friendships, like you should be getting something from one another. It should be an equal thing where, you're helping one another grow. You're helping each other grow in, your career or business, your health, your fitness, your family, like your relationships. Like having female friends here is really hard too, especially when it comes to like relationships and dating, because every girl is like, fuck him, let's just go out and do this and do that.
I promise you they're empty and they're hurting.
I'm like, it's like the worst relationship advice ever. And I have some friends I have like 3 friends, but they're good friends. They're 3 good girls. And I don't need any more than that. I've found that the more friends that I had, the less friends I had. Like if you've got, 2, 3, 4 solid people, even just one solid person, like you're not alone. That's all you need. It's like couple solid people,
friendship is extremely important, but remember, people you don't attract, especially in a relationship thing, like the list that I made of 100 things, right? I don't know, you didn't say if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good idea.
I said it was a good thing.
I think every fucking person should do it. If you're watching this video, make a fucking list of 50 things, 20 things. To be honest with you, it'll be very hard to get to 100. Because you're like, okay, what do I add?
Yeah.
Like, what am I looking?
That's what I said. When you said 100, I'm like,
absolutely.
what?
But think about it. If you have 7 different areas and each one has like 10 to 15, there goes your.
Yeah.
You literally have 100 right
people
there.
would probably say like, "Oh, you're being too picky." Like, but you
Fuck
should
yeah.
be being picky. It's people. My friend always tells me, she's like, "You're so picky. You're so picky. You're so picky."
Yes.
Like, this is the person I'm going to spend
Yes.
my life with. Of course,
Yes.
I'm picky.
But remember, you will never attract what you want. You can write all the fucking shit in the world in that list. You will attract who you are.
Exactly.
And when I say who you are, I'm not talking about personality types. I'm talking about character-wise, vision-wise. You're going to attract someone that thinks just like you because you're on the same frequency as that individual.
Yeah.
You will never meet someone that is 10 times better than you. Like, I give you an example. Will a billionaire hang out with a bunch of millionaires? A lot of times they will not. They may spend some time, have a conversation, this and that, but they're not going to have, there's nothing to talk about. The billionaires think about fucking massive shit. Like Elon Musk is thinking about fucking getting people to Mars. And you're still thinking about fucking making a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
You understand? Doesn't mean they won't talk to you. I'm not saying that because people are going to misconstrue this shit. They always fucking take 2 seconds of what I say and misconstrue. I'm just saying that birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
And if you want to attract the right person, you need to become the right person first. You could become that individual.
Well, they say you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself, like you spend the most time with. So what I've noticed as I've been like changing and like evolving and growing in all areas is that people just like fall off. I don't have anything to talk about with them anymore. I don't have anything to do with them
100%.
anymore. And people are like, oh, you change. Well, like, yes.
Fuck yeah.
We should. We should.
You should change.
You should, for sure.
Change makes dollars and no change makes no sense.
And you'll notice as you start to evolve in life as a whole, not even just in career or in business. If you're an entrepreneur, not even just in relationship, just in every aspect of your life. You start focusing on, eating better, getting better sleep, better routines, better habits. Like, you're reading more, not spending as much time on scrolling on social media. You're
Working
not
on
going
the
to
7 areas of your life.
You're not going to the club so much. Like, these things, you'll notice, like, you're going to feel lonely for a while, but it's like that part of your, and I think that that's when a lot of people starts to get really tough for them, right? Because they're like, oh, okay, like I'm so sad, I'm alone, I'm bored, like I don't have
what
anything.
happens is this: you have your group of friends and you're kind of like, I'm not connecting with them anymore, and there's that, I don't want to say lonely phase, but that alone phase, because you're going from one, it's kind of like going from one location to another location,
and not
right?
everybody can make it through that alone phase.
That is a challenging place to be.
It's fucking hard.
Like what you said, you are who the five, would you say five people?
5 people you spend the most time with.
I'm going to change that a little bit, right? This is what I believe. It's not about the 5 people you hang around with. It's the 5 actions that you have on a daily basis is who you become.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you look at the actions you take on a daily basis, the 5 most common actions you make, the 5 habits that you have, that's who you become.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you smoke weed every fucking day, it's a habit, guess what's going to happen to you?
Well, like, think about it. You could be, say you don't smoke weed, okay? You don't do drugs. You start hanging around you move to a new city. You don't know anybody, whatever. You make a couple friends. They all do drugs. Guess what? You're going to be the next person in line that's doing drugs. So it's like you pick up habits of the people that are around you. And when you start breaking loose of those bad habits and you're creating new habits, and you haven't met anyone yet that's, you don't have a new circle yet that's on the same wavelength as you, because you're not all the way there yet. But you're not the old person that you were, but your new person isn't fully born yet, and you're in this like awkward alone phase.
It's the most healthiest phase to be in when you're in that alone phase a little bit.
Yes.
Because you're shedding like a snake sheds their skin a little bit. You're shedding all the bullshit to become the new individual so you can start attracting different people.
And most people won't make it through that. Most people
They run back. They run back.
They're going to go back to what's comfortable to them because they can't handle being alone. They can't handle the uncomfort. And they want someone to talk to.
It's a mental battle.
Mm-hmm.
Most people do not make it in relationships, not because of not having enough love, all this stuff. It's because they do not know how to handle the mental toughness that they need. Mm-hmm. It's not easy being with another human being. Think about it. When you're in a relationship, it has nothing, and I take this from personal experience, it has nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. Absolutely nothing to do with you. If you're in a relationship, and I made this mistake, if you're looking to receive in a relationship, you're fucked. You have, in business, like an entrepreneur, it's not about me receiving money. It's about how can I serve my team. I mean, Matt sees me all the time. It's always about how can I get this person to think differently? How can I impact this person? How can I change this person's life? If I can help Shaquem, as an example, become a 10.0 version of himself, then guess what? By default, my company's taken care of. If I can help my guys become 10 times better than the way I found them, my company's taken care of. It's the same concept in a relationship. And if you some people say it's not good to think of a relationship as business, but it is a little bit like business. Because if you treat your customers, your employees, 10 times better than the way you found them and make them better, then guess what happens to you by default? You end up winning. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing in a relationship. As a man, right? And we can talk about this as well. As a man, it's my job to give as much as fucking possible to the female. Some of you guys will not like that shit. And I made this mistake. I was receiving a lot of my previous relationships. Fucking wrong. Mm-hmm. I was receiving more than I was giving. Because I thought, as a man, I should be receiving because I'm a king, right? Bullshit. As a king, what is a king supposed to do? He's supposed to service fucking people. Mm-hmm. What is a princess supposed to do? A queen? She's supposed to be receiving. And the biggest, greatest gift a man can have, the best gift, is appreciation. Mm-hmm. And he has to first what? Give. Because the more the guy gives, the more what? He feels like he's actually accomplishing something great. Because men are driven by success. Yeah. Men are driven by dominating shit and taking over. But if the woman is not receiving, guess what happens? There's no domination. There's no success. There's none of that. Yeah. So the best thing a woman can do is not sit there and start reciprocating and giving 1,000 times back. It's to receive and be what? Appreciative and respect the man for doing that. And watch what happens to that fucking man. He will fucking move mountains. But a lot of them don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
they receive a little bit and like, oh my God, he gave me a little bit. I got to give him more. And the more you give, the more he fucking doesn't want it. Because he doesn't need anything from you. Like, right. I'm talking to a girl right now. There's nothing absolutely she can give me. Nothing. What is she going to give me? Anything I need, I can buy it. Think about it. Anything I want. Anything I need, I can get it tomorrow morning, right there in the spot.
Mm-hmm. I think
I want her to receive. That's what I want. Because I want when she receives, she says, thank you, I appreciate you. That appreciation and that respect and that admiration, that look that a woman gives, that's all the fucking man needs.
Yeah. I think that there's like a very special something that women can give men, and it's being submissive to them. And we talked about this in a we talked about this in a previous when we
Thank you.
when we talked, but
Holy shit.
but
Matt, you agree with this shit? Fuck yeah.
but when it comes in terms of that, like a man has to deserve
Oh, you said the powerful word.
that.
Now, I don't want to say the word deserve, because deserve is like, he's got to earn it.
Yes,
He's got to earn it.
earn it is a better word.
If you're not going out there as a man and hustling and grinding and providing and protecting, who the fuck are you to demand that appreciation? Who the fuck are you to even like why should she admire your ass? You're sitting home playing fucking video games.
Yeah. If and there's so many you hear from so many women. They just expect so much. They expect the bills to be paid. They expect to go to all these nice places and trips and to go shopping and to have everything that they want. But then, you know, they're not putting a hot meal on the table. They're not doing his laundry. They're not helping when he asks. They're not doing these things. It's like, you want to talk about 50-50, like that's how you go 50-50 in a relationship.
Yeah, you go 50-50 in the fucking courtroom.
That's how you go 50. That's how you go 50-50.
You do 50-50, you can end up in a courtroom with 50-50. You got to put 100.
When people talk about like, oh, it should be a 50-50 relationship, like we're going to split the bills and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. First of all, that is the worst concept that ever came to Western culture.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to probably get banned for this shit. I'm going to probably have these guys go crazy on my fucking comments. If you're a fucking man, why the fuck are you expecting a woman to go 50-50 on any of the bills? Why don't you go out there and crush it? Oh, you don't want the girl to use you? She's not using you. It's your fucking job to provide. You know what I tell every girl? If I'm with my wife, if she wants to work, go work. Go, you know, when you buy your little stuff, whatever you want, that's fine. If you do not want to work, you do not have to work. I will make sure everything is taken care of. Oh, Michael, you can say that you've created a business. No, I thought about that shit when I was fucking broke as a fucking joke. And I thought to myself, okay, I need to create a lot of money so I could potentially what? Put myself in a position that a woman will never have to ever worry financially and be fucking worried about what's going to happen to us.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy the bullshit. I didn't smoke weed. I didn't buy alcohol. I didn't buy all the shit. Never. I probably spent in my entire life on alcohol less than $700.
Really?
Yeah. And by the way, 3 of those situations, I was forced to fucking spend money on the bottle. And I almost killed my fucking friends. You know when you hang out with your boys and stuff, or you hang out with your girls and you're part of the crew, and it's like, this one pays. And I was like, oh, Mike, it's your turn. And you're with a group of people, and you're like, fucking motherfucker, here's my card. Tomorrow I'm going to slap you for even doing that. But I don't even drink. I don't even drink.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. When I don't have a problem. I like when I go out to eat, you know, with friends. I think it's easier. Like when you go with people and they're like, oh, like you could put this on my bill and split this that way. I'm like, bro, just fucking split it between 3 cards, 4 cards. Like, what are we doing? That's so nitpicky to me. But I've never been in this situation, but I could understand if like someone who doesn't drink and like everyone was just like drinking and also eating, you know, and they're like, oh, let's just like split it even. And it's like, okay, well, you racked up like $500 in alcohol and I didn't drink. Like, I wouldn't want to do that. So I can understand.
Actually, you know what's crazy? I actually hate being in those kind of situations. I hate going out with a bunch of fucking people. I fucking hate it. Because a lot of times the most successful person in the group, they always expect that person to like
to pay. Yeah.
Like if I'm with my teammate, my employees, I got you, but I also like for them to like, I want to see you want to pay.
Yeah.
If you don't want, and sometimes I let them pay because you got to earn it, right? But I hate it when motherfuckers expect shit to be taken care of for them.
Yeah.
This is not welfare. Okay,
See,
this ain't food stamps.
We're talking about back to the women. So many women, they expect this. You guys expect it, but you don't do anything in return. And like, believe me, like if I was someone to make me a wife tomorrow, like am I like perfect?
So I'm an
No.
entrepreneur. Let's say I'm an entrepreneur, or you're dating an entrepreneur, right? You're dating an entrepreneur, right? What do you think a woman should do for a man that is out there grinding, hustling? And there's nothing wrong being a woman entrepreneur. God bless you all. I love it all. But in this scenario, the man is an entrepreneur. He's out there grinding, hustling, pushing, and shoving. What do you think a woman should be doing to support that man? Your opinion?
I think it's going to depend on the man. You have to find out like what he needs from you. And honestly, like I feel like in a lot of relationship dynamics like those, like usually the woman will start like working for the man. She's helping him, whether it's just like basic like admin work. I have a friend that her boyfriend, like he moved her in, he pays for everything, and he doesn't want her to he wants her to like work for him, like help him, and
Yeah.
she loves doing that because she was like, well, I don't want to just sit at home all day, but she helps him with little stuff in his companies, and that's a great deal to him, like taking that stress off of him. She always makes sure the house is clean. All the laundry is always done. Any errands that he needs, she does all the grocery shopping. She makes sure that he has like a hot meal when he comes home from work. She takes care of him like in every regard. And then they also have times where they're both just like, super lazy and tired and whatever. But she always makes sure like whatever he needs is done. Like,
So let me ask you this: why does some woman? And I understand they're gonna say this, oh, because the guy doesn't deserve it. Why doesn't the guy deserve? Like, what is the guy not doing, and why is the girl like? Why? What's the dynamic nowadays? Why is it so fucked up, in your opinion? I have my opinion on it, but what is your opinion? Like, why do you think the women don't want to do their part? They want everything to be. They want to just take without doing anything. Absolutely, like no, not even respecting the man. Because nowadays the girls are. This is my opinion. I've seen girls tell their guys, "I'm going out to party," as an example. And then the second is like, what the fuck you mean you're gonna go party? And she's like, don't control me.
Yeah, or that they wouldn't,
Motherfucker.
like, why are you gonna, like, the
Or the way
outfit
they
thing or
dress.
whatever, and it's like, you're insecure. It's like, no, he's not insecure. You have a fucking for sale sign on your neck. Like, why
If
would
a
you
girl-
want that?
If a girl has anything bikini schmikini on her fucking Instagram, me personally, that's not what I'm looking for as a wife. Nothing wrong with that. Listen, you're in Miami, you're going to the beach, I understand. But I don't want my woman to say, hey, I'm for fucking sale. Even before I meet her.
Yeah.
Even before I meet her.
I think if
Nothing
you're-
wrong with that. Listen, it's a perspective thing. It's just what I'm looking for, right? It's one of the things that I'm looking for. Looking for a girl that can be modest with her body and show her body to one human being.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
there's like a very, like, sexy way to show you have a nice body as a woman. Like, you can show someone that you have curves through the way that you dress without being super revealing. And
Or doing this. Just kidding. That's the
I
Miami
think-
look with the fake lips.
I think that that's important. And I don't think that a lot of women understand that because they think, like, oh, I'm getting a lot of looks from guys. I also think this comes from, like, women having a very, like, low sense of self-love for themselves.
100%.
And I can speak on that because I know people are going to go crazy in the comments. I used to be like that. I would think that, like, the skimpier I dressed, the more guys that wanted to look at me, the more would talk to me, the more they would comment up. They weren't interested in who I was as a person. They didn't care.
Say that again. Say that again.
They weren't interested in who I was
They
as a
were
person.
not interested in who you were as a human being and how you thought and what you were about. They were interested in what? The
One
physical
thing.
realm. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why you hear a lot of, like, men talking about this these days that are like, you might get that super successful guy for a night, maybe two, but you're not going to keep him. You'll never keep him if that's, like, your aspect on it. If you're out, like, dancing in the club and you're in every single person's section and you're on every yacht and, you've got a million travel story wheels, I feel like women think that they know what, like, men like, and they just, they don't have a clue, and it's detrimental. And then they want to, like, paint this picture of, like, oh, men are controlling us, but the feminist wave that's, like,
Doesn't work.
Not even that. It's like, ladies, like, we're getting the worst end of the deal. We're getting the worst end of the deal because if you think about it, like, okay, let's give the men exactly what they want when they are doing nothing for us. Okay, give them exactly what they want. Sleep with him right away. Give it all away, okay? Be half naked and fully naked all over the internet so they can look at you, okay? And then go make all your own money and struggle and pay all your own bills and do everything by yourself. It's like, so where are we winning there?
There is no win.
By posting seductive pictures
And
on the internet? Do you feel like you win that way?
What
Like, I
happens
don't
to
understand.
the man becomes so weakened, and he gets actually, as a matter of fact, when a woman is producing more than a man, it makes him feel like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Inferior.
Well, I don't want to say inferior, but he's just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, because instinctively, in his heart, he wants to go perform. He wants to perform for someone. Men, listen. Men just want to perform for someone and someone to look at them and admire them. That's literally what men are out there. Not because they have a low self-image. It's because a man is out there designed to go hunt and kill and attack and come home and to have his wife say, wow, you're my fucking hero. You're my fucking champion. You're the person I fucking married, and that's why I chose you out of all the other schmucks out there.
Yeah.
Like, you're the fucking number one. You're like, if my woman does not come home and tell me when I get home, you're the best. You're number one. I fucking chose you because the fuck am I doing it for? For who? I don't need you to pay me. I just need to say thank you and appreciate that I'm fucking the best for you in the house. And if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, then guess what? I don't deserve those fucking words.
Yeah.
So that'll make me say, you know what? Maybe I need to go out there and hustle this week because I've been playing video games this fucking month and I haven't brought shit to the house and she's complaining about her nails and I can't even fucking pay for her nails.
Yeah.
So as a man, you have to go out there and do what you need to do. Provide, protect, and preach.
Yeah.
And if you do those things, what'll end up happening, you'll attract the right woman, right? And the right woman will do what she needs to do and not do the feminist shit, which is what? I can do it by myself. I don't need a man. Okay, then goodbye.
Yeah. Why would you want to do it by yourself? Like, listen, and I always get dogged for this because
No idea.
they're like, oh, like, you don't want any hobbies or this and that, or blah, blah, blah. You don't want to depend on a man. Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with having hobbies or your side hustle or a part-time, like something like that. Or even until you're ready to like start a family if you want to work. But you always have to make sure that your husband is taken care of because then the dynamic starts to be like off. And if you're not with a man that's willing to take care of you, well, then you should probably find a new one. Okay.
And if a man does not want to take care of a woman, it's because he has such a low self-image. He's not capable of what? Thinking that he can actually take care of someone.
Right.
And that's why you need to work on yourself as a man to go out there and fucking grind and do what you need to do.
And unfortunately, a lot of men just aren't men anymore. But I
You
feel
call
like
them beta males.
something like that. But I also feel like, you know, like as women want to get more masculine, they're just like kicking men to shit. Like this country specifically just makes men feel like they are not shit. And every day they're reminded that they're not shit. So many men are like, one of my friends has like a dating coaching company, okay? And like, men are terrified to even talk to women. They're terrified.
Really?
Yes. Because everything is like the way that they act. I mean, like, think about it. Like, you don't know who you're going to be approaching. Like, yeah, maybe your girl's really beautiful and maybe she would be the right person for you and is a great girl, but like, you don't know how she's going to react if you go up and talk to her at the gym.
Yeah,
she's going to make a big deal that you're a creep and
hold on a
this
second.
and that.
As a man, though, you're supposed to pursue the girl.
You are, but what I'm saying is women in this country, this feminist crap that's going on.
So what do they want? They want
in
the girl
this
to approach the man?
country- In this country, the women have just beat men down so bad and like made them, I feel like, fearful to talk. And yeah, of course, there's bad men out there, some bad men out there, but there's terrible women out there too. Okay, like yeah, when women are like, oh, we have to fear for our lives, and I have to be. I understand that there's like some terrible men. There's been terrible situations, and you know, like.
I mean, you're not going home with them in a car at that moment. You're just having a conversation.
I know, but there's you know, people get kidnapped and this and that and whatever. I understand there's like scary situations and serial killers and whatever and sex trafficking and blah 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 blah. Okay, but like they've painted the picture that just like every man is just this like terrible person that you can't even allow them to come talk to you anymore.
Listen, we're gonna end on this note. This is my opinion when it comes to this stuff. As a man, you should be pursuing a woman. That's 100%. A woman should, the second, and I made this mistake when I was younger. When I had a woman pursue me, it never worked out. Those are damaged women.
No, yeah, men don't want women to pursue them.
No,
it's like, why are you chasing me?
Yeah. A man should be the one pursuing the woman, at least in the first couple of dates, first couple of months, whatever it may be. Even in life, like you do, if a woman is chasing you to have sex with you when you're married, that's a little bit. I want to be fucking chasing my girl at home. I want to fucking chase her while I'm naked around the house. Hey, come here, right? It's fun because men, we're like fucking cats. Yeah. We want to chase the fucking rat. You know what I mean? Like we want that. If food is on the table, you don't respect it. But if you got to go out there, struggle, get slapped in the face, go through some pain. It's kind of like in sales, right? In sales, there's so much rejection you get when you're knocking on doors, when you're talking to customers on a daily basis over the fucking phone. But the second you get that fucking deal, guess what? You feel like a fucking $1 million. And that deal feels so amazing. And you forget about all the idiots that told you no.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing when it goes to, talking to women. You got to go out there as an entrepreneur, understand it's a numbers game. And if you go talk to 4, 5, 6, 7 girls a day, or 4, 5, 6, 7 girls a week, whatever your numbers games is, right? You go out there, you talk to get a couple of numbers, you find the right one, you should not be talking to 20 of them at the same fucking time.
Yeah, I agree.
You shouldn't. Once you find the right one and you go on a couple of dates, this is what a lot of people teach. Talk to fucking, 10. I understand that, but in my opinion, you can never then identify which one do you actually emotionally want to connect with because you're talking to 10 of them.
Yeah.
And you have no fucking idea which one is for you, which one is not.
Right.
Once you identify, in the beginning stage, you got to talk to a bunch, right? But once you identify the right one and you like that person, pursue them. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. You can go find another 10 next month. It's okay. It's okay to be alone for a month. It's okay to be alone for a fucking week. So many people are afraid of what? Well, if it doesn't work out, I got to have a backup. It's okay.
I hear that so much, especially down here, that it's like, I used to have a friend that she always would have this like roster lined up, and I was like, and she would have like some good men on it, and I'm like,
pick one.
I'm like, but you like him, and she's like, yeah, I know, but when he's like making me mad or he's not available, then I have to, and I'm like,
holy shit.
but I'm like, but what would you, and the one time I straight up was like, if he was no longer in your life, like, how would you feel? And she was like, oh, I'd be devastated. And I was like, then why do you need backups? Like, I don't understand.
I think the biggest mistake you can make is having a backup when you're trying to build a solid relationship with someone.
If you have plan B, plan A will never work out.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
There is no plan B for anything, relationships.
The
career,
plan
like
the plan B is very simple. Obviously, the doors are open. You're still single in the dating phases. You're still single. You're not committed to that person yet, right? A week, a month, 2 months, whatever the situation is. But before you, like, right when you're about to get into that committed stage, you already know this is the person I want to be with and spend some time with to get to know them even more on a deeper level. Why the hell do you have a roster of 3, 4, 5, 7 other people?
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're confusing yourself emotionally, and then you're literally thinking, one bad fight, guess what happens? I can back out.
Yep.
It's the same thing like in sales. Oh, if it doesn't jobs. If it doesn't work out with this job, I got 17. Like, why would you do that? You need to commit.
Yeah.
And people are so afraid to make commitments because they're afraid of what? Getting rejected,
Yeah.
having pain, having trauma, having losses, having a fucking setback. Because they don't understand that you need the setback to have a comeback. You need that. You need that little argument. You need that little challenge. You need a little upset moment so you can say, you know what can I do to solve the situation so it doesn't happen again? Versus saying, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go to the next person. Fuck it. I'm going to go to the next person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think the same thing applies to entrepreneurship too. And like this, like if you're wanting to get started in some sort of business or something, like you just kind of have to make the decision where like, this is what I'm doing.
That's
and,
it.
And it's going to work out.
And
That's
go
it.
all in.
That's it. And I was just home for Thanksgiving, like for family Thanksgiving, and you know my family, they're all traditional, like 9 to 5 people, which is fine. I'm not hating on the traditional 9 to 5. If that's what makes you happy, it's what makes you happy. But you know they're all asking me questions and well, where's the security in this and what if it this and what if it that, and I'm like, there is no what if it doesn't work out. Like it's gonna work out because this is what I want to do, and I'm not thinking about something else. And they're like, oh well, what if do you have like any ideas of like what you would do if you had to go back to a normal job? And I'm like, no, I don't, because that's not in my mind. I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to do that. Like. And even like when I was having I was having like a bad month a couple months ago, and how I told you, like I was like, oh, let me just like go bartend again. It lasted 2 weekends because I was like, well, this is just destroying my vision because I'm getting off at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm
waking up late.
I'm waking up late. My morning routine is off. My mind is off. I'm not focusing. Then I'm tired and I want to rest instead of focusing on what I need to focus on. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I make it $1,000 in the weekend because it's just gonna hurt my end goal. So I was like, nope, this has got to go. And like that literally lasted 2 weekends because it's like you lose sight. You get a plan B, and like your plan A is essentially you might as well just throw it out the window.
When you make a commitment and you go all in into something, it happens. Mm-hmm. Just understand that you got to go out there. If you're in business, relationship, whatever it may be, go all in. There is no back fucking door. Burn the fucking ship. Yeah. Burn the ship. And just fucking go forward. There is no if. Oh my! No. Now I'm not saying you need to commit to someone the first fucking week you meet them.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Like in the dating stages, the first couple of weeks, couple of months, okay, you're figuring out who this person. Like you're talking to a couple of people. You figure. Okay, this is the one I want. This is the person that I really want to be with. Okay. I appreciate your time. Don't fucking ghost people like a fucking loser. Let them know, or kind of let the conversation die out. That's okay, right? But if they message you, hey, what's going on? You could be open. Say, listen, I'm actually talking to someone seriously, and I appreciate the conversation we both had. It was awesome. It's just not going to be a good fit right now. Maybe in the near future, I'm talking to someone seriously, and they'll be respectful about that. They're okay with that.
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing wrong with. And if someone starts freaking out on you because you said like, well, then they were not the one for you anyways. But like, there's nothing more disrespectful than just like ghost.
100%.
It is the most disrespectful thing in the entire world, and I don't think people understand that. Like, you leave someone sitting there and wondering, like, what did I do wrong?
Have a conversation.
What did I say? What's wrong with me? Like, don't do that. Women don't do it to men. Men don't do it to women. Just don't do it. It's so
100%. If you do
immature,
that, in my opinion, you're a weak individual. Because you don't have the balls to have a conversation with someone and say, hey, this is not for me, or you're not for me for this and reason, or what. You don't have to even be specific. Just say, listen, I had a great time with you. It just wasn't a good situation for me and you. That's it.
It wasn't a good fit. We don't get along. We don't see that. Like, whatever it is,
That's it.
like, you don't even need an explanation. It's just
100%.
like, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm no longer interested. Like, thanks for your time, and go on with your day.
I love it. I love it. We had a great conversation today. Listen, if you're an entrepreneur, you're looking to build your fucking business, you're looking to get focused. Maybe you shouldn't be focused on a relationship. Go fucking focus on your grind. Get your shit situated, and then maybe find a relationship. That's my opinion. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. If you love this kind of content, do me a solid. Subscribe to the channel because we're trying to get 100,000. Listen, TikTok and Instagram is blowing up, but for some reason, YouTube, we need some fucking love and support. I appreciate you guys. Need some love, need some shares. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.